Today we're reacting to the 7 levels of races video by the Black Stories Untold. Alright, let's check it out.
Every level of racist in America explained. Level 1, the Karen. Let's start with everyone's favorite, the accidental racist.
Ew, she is not a customer. She is just some bum that wandered in off the street.
The Karen. The person who swears they're not racist while saying the most racist stuff imaginable. New York, 2020. Amy Cooper sees a black man bird watching.
Bird watching
and
is
somehow
crazy.
her brain goes straight to 911. There's an African-American man threatening my life, she says, voice trembling like she's being chased by a serial killer instead of someone watching birds. These are your I have black friends people. They'll compliment your English like it's shocking you can speak. They'll touch your hair without asking. They'll tell you you're not like other.
Oh my god, touching her without accent? I think that kind of thing can make me go mad. That is, don't touch me, but didn't ask you or give you permission to touch me.
Other black people and think that's a compliment. Philadelphia, 2018. 2 black men commit the heinous crime of existing in a Starbucks without buying coffee yet.
Wow.
The manager calls the cops. They get arrested for waiting. For waiting. Level 1 racists don't burn crosses. They just make your everyday life exhausting. 68% of workers deal with microaggressions regularly. But these people swear it's all misunderstandings.
Yeah.
They're not trying to be racist. They're just really bad at not being racist. Parents literally have to teach kindergartners how to survive encounters with level 1 racists. But sure, it's just awkwardness, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing about accidental racists. They're everywhere, but they're symptoms of something way more organized. Level 2, the gatekeeper.
The gatekeeper,
Level 2
okay?
doesn't shout slurs.
Okay.
They smile politely and say, unfortunately, that position has been filled.
Oh, the guys that stop you from getting the opportunity because of your race.
While your resume is still warm from the printer. These are your HR managers,
Dang.
loan officers,
Dang.
real estate agents, and school administrators. They don't hate black people. They just happen to find reasons why black people don't quite fit.
You know those questions where they're like the service always asking for your race, and I know most black people usually put that white or the American or whatever country they're basically talking about, just because they feel like if they put African American, they won't be heard. I also like those people that when you're making your resume, you like put an English name because you don't want your name that's specifically looking like a black person's name. You don't want it to look obvious that you're a black person. These are things like, we have to go through to make sure we get an opportunity.
Chicago, 1930s. Government officials literally drew red lines around black neighborhoods like they were radioactive zones. Banks couldn't lend there. Too risky, they said.
Wow.
Cool. Totally normal behavior from professionals. Long Island, 2019. Real estate agents get caught on hidden camera. They show white couples the dream home and tell black couples with identical finances that everything's already pending. Magic. It's almost like nothing changed except the paperwork got prettier. Today's gatekeepers call it culture fit in hiring. They point to credit scores without mentioning how those scores got tanked by discriminatory lending. Black home ownership sits at 46.4% compared to 75.8% for white families. Gee, wonder how that happened.
This is why, a black person can always say a white person hasn't experienced racism. It's this systematic racism they're talking about. Things like this home ownership rates, loan, giving out a loan to a person based on their credit score. There's certain factors that make it easier for the white person to get these things than it is for the black person. And the more you know, but the people that have the privileges will know.
Must be personal choice, right? School district administrators draw enrollment boundaries like military strategists, somehow always managing to separate rich white kids from poor black kids.
Hey, yo.
It's not about race, it's about property values.
Yeah,
how
we
exactly
believe
do you
you.
think those property values got that way? The gatekeeper is dangerous because they have institutional power and plausible deniability. They're not burning crosses, They're just following company policy that mysteriously always hurts the same people.
Yep.
But gatekeepers? That's child's play. Sometimes they don't even bother with individual discrimination. Level 3, the colorblind. Level 3 is when we get really creative.
Oh, shit.
Why write obviously racist laws when you can write colorblind ones that just happen to devastate black communities? Pure coincidence, obviously. These are your state legislators, federal congresspeople, and policy wonks. They craft laws that sound totally fair on paper, but work like surgical strikes against black communities. Washington, D.C., 1986. Congress decides crack, predominantly used in black communities, gets you 100 times the sentence of powder cocaine. Same drug, different packaging. But hey, the law doesn't mention race, so totally fair, right? These lawmakers love voter ID requirements. Everyone should have ID. Sure, except ID costs money. DMVs are mysteriously rare in certain neighborhoods, and some folks work 3 jobs without time for bureaucratic field trips. But technically, colorblind. Mission accomplished. They fund algorithms for hiring and lending without checking for bias. Facial recognition error rate for light-skinned men, 0.8%. For darker-skinned women, 34.7%. But it's just math, so it must be objective. They're not racist. They just signed off on systems that learned from our totally not racist data. The modern policymaker creates mass incarceration that looks totally legitimate. Voter suppression that's technically legal. Algorithmic bias that scales discrimination to industrial levels, all while maintaining plausible deniability. They don't wear hoods. They wear suits and hide behind focus groups and polling data. But sometimes, elected officials drop the act entirely and just go full authoritarian. Level 4,
this is crazy.
the enforcer. Level 4 is where your own government decides black people organizing is a national security threat. Not the Klan. Not actual terrorists. People asking for equal rights. These are FBI agents, police chiefs, prosecutors, and intelligence officials who use the full power of the state to crush black leadership. California and Illinois, 1960s to 70s. FBI agents literally ran a program called COINTELPRO to neutralize black leadership. Didn't just spy, they actively sabotage, imprison, and assassinated civil rights leaders. Chicago, December 1969. FBI agents give Chicago police a detailed floor plan of Fred Hampton's apartment. They coordinate a raid at 4 a.m. while he's sleeping, and he gets shot. 21 years old. His crime? Feeding kids breakfast and teaching community organizing.
Can you see what we mean by like this world has always been against the black people? Dying at 21 for feeding kids? And I know somebody's going to be like, but his intentions though, but he didn't do anything. He wasn't caught guilty.
They bugged Martin Luther King Jr.'s hotel rooms, sent him anonymous letters telling him to, and the FBI director literally called him the most dangerous Negro in America.
Wow.
These are federal agents. Think this is ancient history? Federal agents tracked Black Lives Matter organizers' cell phones, created fake social media accounts to monitor activists, and somehow, protesters keep ending up dead in cars and jail cells. But I'm sure it's all totally different now. Level 4 racists have badges, security clearances, and legal authority to destroy lives. They don't just discriminate, they wage war. Of course, when federal agents are too busy to handle things personally, there's always the street-level enforcers. Level 5. The uniform.
Level
5 is where the people sworn to protect and serve become the threat, with badges, guns, and legal immunity to do whatever they want. These aren't bad apples, they're products of departments with bad cultures.
And then I thought these guys would be the highest level, but I know KKK can definitely beat them, but I thought they would be like level 6 or something, you know?
Bad training and bad incentives. Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921. Police officers don't just allow a white mob to destroy the wealthiest black community in America, they call in air support to drop bombs. Actual bombs on American citizens. Then they blame the victims. Ferguson, Missouri, 2014. The Department of Justice finds police officers were basically running a legal extortion racket, targeting black residents for traffic tickets to fund the city budget. Almost like taxation without representation, but with tasers. New York City 2000s. Police officers conduct 700,000 stop and frisk encounters per year, 90% on Black and Latino men. Hit rate for finding weapons? About 1%.
Wow.
So basically, legal harassment with a 99% failure rate. But
exactly.
hey, they had quotas to meet. These officers pull over black drivers at twice the rate during the day, but the disparity disappears at night when they can't see races clearly. They arrest black kids for the same infractions that get white kids warnings. They patrol black neighborhoods like occupying armies. Level 5 races have legal authority.
Man, this is so sick. This is so disgusting. But we all know what's going on.
To use violence while investigating themselves for misconduct. They don't burn crosses. They plant evidence and claim they feared for their lives. But uniform racism is still retail violence.
Yeah.
When America really wants to get things done, we elect the people who write it into law. Level 6, the architect.
Oh,
Level
the people
6
that make the system.
cruelty becomes policy, not rogue cops or individual bigots. Elected officials who make oppression legal, systematic, and generational. These are governors, state legislators, Supreme Court justices, and federal officials who design the infrastructure of inequality.
Makes sense.
Virginia, 1705. State legislators don't just legalize owning humans. They systematically strip away every possible right. Can't own property, can't learn to read, can't gather in groups, can't defend yourself, can't testify in court. They write a manual for creating a permanent underclass. After slavery ends, these officials create convict leasing. Alabama, Georgia, Texas legislators turn prisons into slavery with extra steps. Black men get arrested for vagrancy, aka existing while poor, and leased to plantations and mines. Death rates higher than actual slavery, but technically legal. North Carolina officials, 1929 to 1974, run forced sterilization programs targeting undesirable populations. Guess who that meant? They sterilized over 7,600 people, mostly black women, without consent. State-sponsored medical abuse with a legal framework. Oregon legislators, 1844 to 1926, banned black people from living in the entire state. Not just slavery, straight up apartheid. Whites only carved into the state constitution. The liberal West Coast, everybody. Modern officials build highways straight through black neighborhoods, like surgical strikes. I-10 through New Orleans, I-95 through Miami's Overtown. Urban renewal, they call it. Urban removal is more accurate. Level 6 racists don't just discriminate. They engineer society to make discrimination automatic. They don't wear hoods. They wear robes and sit in marble buildings. But even legal oppression requires paperwork and process. Sometimes people just say screw it and go full terrorist. Level 7.
The devils themselves.
Level 7 is where we stop pretending there are rules. Domestic terrorists who use public violence to keep entire communities in line through sheer fear. These are Klan members, white extremists, white nationalists, and lone wolf shooters who believe in racial holy war. In North Carolina, 1898. White extremist leaders literally overthrow a legally elected government and exile hundreds of residents. Not a riot. A coordinated coup by businessmen and politicians who decided democracy had gone too far. Rosewood, Florida, 1923. Klan members and local vigilantes descend on an entire black town after a white woman claims assault. They burn it to the ground in the lives of...
They take out hundreds of lives just for one person. And it's like, again, you go find out the one person that haven't cried it, crazy tears, false wolf, whatever you want to call it. They could be lying and there's no evidence. It's just a reason to cause destruction.
Residents and survivors scatter into the swamps. The town never recovers. It's erased from maps. East St. Louis, Illinois, 1917. White mobs kill over 100 black residents and burn 300 homes. The North isn't exempt. Racism doesn't respect geography. Between 1877 and 1950, lynch mobs end the lives of over 4,000 black Americans. Public spectacles with postcards sold as souvenirs. Families bringing picnic lunches to watch torture. This is the foundation everything else is built on. Charleston Church, 2015. Buffalo Supermarket, 2022. Jacksonville Dollar General, 2023. Lone gunman citing replacement theory, targeting black spaces specifically. Level 7 racists don't hide behind policies or procedures. They commit terrorism in broad daylight and call it patriotism. They are
nothing
the
stops
logical
them.
conclusion of everything that came before. The Karen didn't invent racism. She just inherited the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Today's results? Every level is operational. Karens in every workplace making daily life exhausting. Gatekeepers in every institution finding reasons to exclude. Policymakers writing colorblind laws that target with precision. Government agents surveilling and suppressing. Police officers enforcing the hierarchy with violence. Architects designing systematic oppression. Terrorists using fear as a weapon. Median white family has nearly 10 times the wealth of the median black family. Black students still disciplined at 3 times the rate. Voting rights under attack in multiple states. Same ladder, different people climbing it. Every type feeds the others. Karens normalize casual racism. Gatekeepers institutionalize it. Policymakers legalize it. Enforcers weaponize it. Uniforms legitimize it. Architects systematize it. Terrorists enforce it with violence. So here's the assignment. Which type of racist runs your area? Drop your state plus the level in the comments. We'll pin the worst examples and probably do a whole series on how other countries built their own versions of this hierarchy. Because here's the thing about America. We didn't invent racism, but we definitely perfected the distribution system. Subscribe if you want to see how deep this rabbit hole goes.
Definitely hit that subscribe button in that video. Hope you guys hit that like button. This was a very educational video. Hit that like button, comment what you'd like me to react to next, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.